You can follow me on any of the listed social media, and you can read my manga over on Pixiv. If you'd like to support me, then please consider subbing to my Patreon. Thank you. Longer than I thought, but we're here. So, just jumping right back into it, as if I did not even make this into part 2. Just going to start on the arm now. She's got these. Okay, I don't know why. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I've got that dog in me. I'll just do this in one singular line, and it almost never works out. But the times that it does are the times that convince me to try it pretty much every time I have the opportunity to. So we will not get caught in the weeds doing that today, though, because we kind of need to chug along, because this is probably going to take just as long as the first line art part, and I was not trying to make my little Dehya walkthrough into a 6-part series. I was hoping to keep it concise, but it is what it is. At least it gives me one more video that I don't have to worry about later. So, I mean, that's nice, but I also don't want to make a bunch of videos that nobody wants to watch. So, hopefully the little Dehya walkthrough does well, but who knows. YouTube is a funny thing. My best videos to me are my little tutorials that I did on how to draw like male anime characters. They're up until right now, they were like my most recent tutorial batch, so I was definitely more talented of an artist going into it. But on top of that, I am actually a bodybuilder, and so for me, I am pretty aware of how the male anatomy is supposed to look with all the muscle groups and stuff, because I've been bodybuilding for like 12 years. So, a little lore dump there, but basically, I feel like I did a good job in those ones. Felt like they were great, and then nobody watched them. So it was, it was really disheartening. I was so sad, because I was so proud of them when I uploaded them. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like I did great. The one thing I could have really done better is, like, one of them, my hands on my character were just a little too high. So I could have dropped it down, but, I mentioned that and warned people to make sure their hands are low enough. But, like, other than that, they were pretty solid. And then nobody watched them, so I was devastated, to be honest. So, but, oh well, I mean, if the people just want, to draw anime ladies, I can't blame them, because I don't draw guys either. So it's like pretty much just, I guess I gotta give the people what they want. So do not expect to see very many tutorials on how to draw anime then, unless you specifically request it and give me a good reason why I should take the time to do it. If you cannot, then I will not do it. But no, truth be told, I do want to eventually. It's a mix where I want to make content that people actually, click on and want to watch, but at the same time, I also want to actually make helpful videos. I don't want to just be like, all right, how many how to draw boobs tutorials can I milk out of the algorithm? It's like, but, I want to have tutorials that would be helpful for absolutely everybody. So if you're struggling to draw men, I want to have good how to draw anime men tutorials. If you're struggling to draw like men's fashion, I want to have stuff like that. And then vice versa with the females. I want to be able to have good anime woman tutorials and clothes tutorials and stuff like that. So, but right now, trying to grow the channel means probably not going to be as many male tutorials for the near future, but eventually they will be back. But for now, I've got a couple, so if you need to get some practice, or just want something to draw along to or anything, then please check those out. But right now, we will focus on Dehya. This line is honestly atrocious, and that somehow almost saved it. Not quite, but we're getting there. I think if I just thin this one out a little bit, it might work. I might be able to bring it back from the brink. Except this is... oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Waffled it. Interesting. I think I'll just do that. There we go. And then I'll thicken this. It's not great, but it's a line, and sometimes that's all we need. So I will move on. There we go. Alright. Let us see. Do these little shapes. These are just things I kind of made off rip, to be honest. I don't have a good enough reference to see really how this part is designed. Don't really feel like going and getting a better reference. So for me, it's kind of nice because I can kind of problem solve heat of the moment, try to make something that matches her design and hopefully looks cool. But it'll be my own little flavor to add to the piece, which I don't mind. Although some people out there will probably see it and not be happy because they just want to see Dehya in all of her glory, exactly as the game intended. But for me, I like kind of changing things up every now and then on the characters. That way I'm not making them my own, obviously. You know, I did not create Dehya, but she's in my art style, and some of the details will be stuff I came up with, just so that way she's not just another random fan art idea out there, you know, because there's plenty of those. This way it's a little bit my own still. There we go. Do that. Man, I am just fighting for my life to not cough along out right now. Hopefully it's not showing through in my voice, but I'll just be randomly talking and then all of a sudden just have to go like uber quiet. So I'm like, if I don't quiet down, I'm gonna actually bite the bullet here. There we go. There we go. Add to this little detail. There. I just need to get rid of this here. Kind of sink it in a little bit. I forgot this is kind of like a fold. It kind of bends back, so her gauntlet is not gonna be up to the edge there. It's gonna be just under it, like that. Okay. From there, stick this part out. And again, this section here on the right will be a little bit more visible than on the left, just because it's closer to our perspective, so we're going to see more of it. Whereas this section here on the right is just tilted away enough that it's just slightly out of view. So still trying to keep things symmetrical, but not exactly the same, because our perspective is a little bit different. Okay, although we'll sink that in a little bit. There we go. That looks a little bit nicer. Do that. Okay, so now this part here just does this. It's not actually like part part of the black Under Armour, and it's not like fully wrapping around either, so just like a little spot up in the front, so it'll be quite skinny. Do this, then go ahead and add some of these spots for the arm. So, have this little strap here to connect it. Okay, cool. I clicked my eraser, nothing happened. Oh well. Do this, get rid of that. Get rid of this, add that. Need to connect this a little bit better. There we go. Okay. So from there, oh, need to get rid of this. There we go. Okay. I'll add the tiniest bit of her arm visible on this other side too. Okay. Now, I think we'll start with the claw things. Do this. Do that. Do this. Just like that. I don't know, new layer. This one's kind of behind this other claw, so I don't want to do it on the same layer and botch it, so do this. Okay, there we go. Looks alright, especially because her fingers are still visible underneath of these, so I just kind of gotta add those in like so, and then connect them. There we go. Probably gonna bring this connection point a little down though. There we go. That looks a bit better. We can connect these and add the pinky. So there we go. Luckily, it's been like a windstorm here pretty much all day. It's finally calming down. I was nervous because there was a couple of times where it looked like the power was about to go out, like mid-recording. It's just like, please don't. I need to finish this today. I do not want to have to dedicate more time to it tomorrow. Although I think I already am going to have to, unfortunately. But it is what it is. It is tough when there's other things I want to do in the day than just work on a Dehya fan art. Although it is fun. I enjoy it. But I could be grinding pulls and Wuthering Waves right now. And this is taking me from that. So that's why it's got to get done today. They've got the anniversary banners out in Wuthering Waves, and I need many of those characters. It's not a want, it's a need. And in spite of grinding my tail off to get a couple hundred pulls without spending money, I didn't spend money. I just am a brand new player in the game. So there's quite literally hundreds of pulls to be had just by doing the events and missions and exploration and stuff. And then they proceeded to make me go to hard pity 3 times in a row, and I lost both 50-50s that I could have possibly lost. So, pretty rough. Was not happy. Very sad. Still sad when I think about it, because I could have had... I feel like I reasonably could have had 2 of the characters I wanted, you know? And then at that point, there's only, like... There's, like, a third, which I already was not expecting to get, like, 4 of the limited characters, because that would be, like, dastardly luck. That would require a level of luck that I am not capable of, but... I thought within reason I could get 2 now and then save back up to get a couple more. And they were just like, yeah, what if you didn't? What if we took everything you had and made you sad? So, that's how those games goes, though. And that's why you gotta fight not to spend a bunch of money on them. Because I'm sure I would be spending $100 just to lose another 50-50. And that would make me feel even worse. So, still felt bad, because I put a lot of time into it to try to get all those pulls, and then they're just like, eh. But, it is what it is. Fortunately, I like the gameplay enough that, yes, I want to get more characters, because I just kind of like collecting characters, to be honest, and I like playing with new characters. Like, when I'm playing the game, just doing anything, I'll play with one team for like 20-30 minutes, and then I'm switching to a different team. It's just, I like just cycling through and doing new things and new play styles. I don't really just main anybody, like in any game like that, like not in Genshin or Zenless. But, so I was hoping to get some more characters so I could start shaking up my team comps, but unfortunately, not the case, so... Her thumb looks just super fat right now, so I'm gonna try to make it a bit thinner here. Just tough, because since the claw is covering it, you kind of can't see it. The thumb is just, shaped a bit differently underneath, but I think that at least looks better. Just, again, it's a lot... You have to kind of keep in mind that when you are finishing the piece, not everybody who sees it when it's finished has all of these sort of, you could almost say, like, background data or knowledge of what the character is doing, So it's like that little section there, if it looks like the thumb is implied to be just super thick for some reason, then you probably shouldn't cope and say, it's like, well, the claw's covering. It's like, you should probably... Even if it's not the perfect anatomy, you should probably just warp the thumb to make it not appear quite so thick. Otherwise, people who are looking at it without the knowledge of, like, oh, this is how the thumb is shaped underneath of her claw, it's just going to look like you fat thumbed it, even if it's not. So at least just by changing it a little bit, it helps imply that, no, she doesn't have a thick thumb, it's just... it's kind of hidden in there. So I'll do this. Have a really thin one on this side, though. Do that. I think that's good. It's not great, but it's not bad. Again, just trying to mess with the line weight and stuff. That was insane. There we go. It's pretty much the same. Gotta love it. Thicken that, thicken this. But yeah, I mean, really practicing line weight is a great way to just immediately improve your line art. It's, take some practice, but and definitely mess with the sensitivity, like on your art tablet, till you find a happy medium. So you don't want it so pressure sensitive that you're like could breathe on the tablet and it just makes a thick line, but you also don't want it so unsensitive that you have to like darn near cut into your screen just to get the thickness you want. You gotta find that happy medium where you have a lot of control over the line, but you can still get some really nice line weight through them. And then really just as you practice it, just get into the habit of really trying to have good line weight in every single line that you do. Because it's like, it's tough because every now and then you'll have a little line, like for example, like this. Like this is just a little tiny random line, but it'll probably go unnoticed by darn near anybody looking at the piece. But if it had just a line like this, that would not go unnoticed, and it'd be like, oh, that's kind of jarring, you know. It's kind of horrible looking, but at least with some line weight, we can make it look a bit better, even though the line itself isn't a different shape. It's not special. It's a lot better to look at. It's a lot more pleasing on the eyes. There's like, you know, it's just kind of, the shape is broken up. So less boring to look at and less jarring. Because especially if you've got like super great line weight in some areas and then just atrocious line weight in others, it's very noticeable at that point. So it's kind of like if you're finally at the point where you're really trying to hone in on your line weight, really pay attention and try to get good line weight on every single line. You can't really ignore it. Because some lines call to be thicker than others, for sure. Some lines need to be thinner, but it always helps to just practice good line weight. Because you'd rather overdo the quality of the line art than undersell it, you know? Especially if you're trying to just do things in like black and white or just like in a classic comic or manga style, you know? Because then it's like you can't use like pretty colors to hide the line art. Now, for me, I'm still trying to get better at like rendering and stuff like that, so I still try to rely on my lines. I feel like it adds to the quality, but I want to, for my art style, what I kind of like and what I'm leaning into, what I hope to master, so I want to have really solid lines, but then just elevate my rendering to the next level. So I want to have good rendering and good lines, which there's a lot of people out there with that, but for me, that's what I'm trying to practice, and it takes a lot of time. So, like here, this is going to be quite the task here, because this is all like a ornament, so we want to incorporate thinner lines, but not go so thin that it doesn't look like it holds up, because it's ultimately like gold. So we want to keep that in mind. We want to keep it a little bit angular, have some spots where it thickens up, have some spots where it stays nice and thin. This is random. I was just thinking, it's like I kind of got a headache and I'm thirsty. And it reminds me, I don't know why, but if I am ever recording a video, no matter what it's about, like it could be a tutorial, it could be something like this where I'm just walking through and like, you know, something a little bit more casual. I don't know why, but I just don't drink or eat. Like I really don't know. I find myself as like, oh wow, it's been half an hour, I haven't taken a single sip of water, you know? And I'm saying how I'm thirsty, but I still haven't taken a sip, so I need to finish this little part here and chug water real quick. So again, I've been bodybuilding for a long time, so I kind of got myself to a point where if I don't drink a ton of water in a day, I actually just can't function. Like my whole body will just cramp and I'll just be in an excruciating pain. So I kind of need to prevent that from happening by chugging water constantly. Do this right there. Alright. Okay, I need to thicken this though. There we go. But yeah, see, I like the way that looks. I think this could be, of course, whatever. See, because I merged the layer beneath, I can't really make that line even better. But that's okay, we'll run with it. I don't really care. Guess we're not going to thicken that line too much. Just going to make it look a little bit nicer. There we go. Alright. Do that. Boom. Okay, I need to chug water. Okay. Now we can move on. Again, I'm kind of looking at the reference I've got pulled up just to verify what I'm looking at, really. I mean, I've got a pretty solid idea of what's going on, but what am I doing? There we go. I've got a good idea of what's going on, but it's honestly a lot nicer to just make sure before I get drawing. Wow, did I lose the ability to draw? Maybe. Guess we're just gonna do it the old fat. Holy schmoly. There we go. Guess we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way, and then it turned out worse than anything I've done in the past year. Also doesn't help. It is like 1,000,000 degrees in my room right now, which I don't know how that, would hinder my abilities, but it's just making me uncomfortable. Okay, do this. Get rid of this. There we go. Merge down. Little line here. I realize that I'm extending it, but does it look bad? Kind of. What is going on? There we go. So I'll bring this back to its original position. I don't know why I drew it out there. Just looked at the empty space and was like, what if I filled it? What if I went rogue and filled that right now and ruined it? What in the world? Okay, there we go. I thought I merged this down to my original layer, so I was convinced that was the case. So when it wasn't, I was just honestly a little scared. Okay, I'll do this. I'm gonna connect this line a little bit better, and then thin this line out just a little bit. Then thicken it again over here. I'm gonna do the same thing right here. Thin, bring it in. Perfect. Now, okay, my heart sank when I saw this line and I was just talking about, oh, I thought I merged it to the layer below. I was like, wait a minute. Okay. I've got the dark temptation to copy and paste what I just drew. And I think I will to save time. I am a proponent of copying and pasting when you've got stuff that's supposed to be symmetrical, and holy schmoly is this crazy. Just gonna get this lined up, but anyway, so something like this, it's like, yeah, honestly, it saves time. And this is already gonna be a crazy long video, so, I could save everybody the trouble by just copying this over. It's supposed to be the exact same anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. So I will just do it to save time. So, from there, do this. I mean, I could even make a case to do it again, to be honest. And maybe I will. Oops. Just ruined everything. There we go. Okay. Now here's the fun part of making it line up properly. And I just simply did it. There we go. Alright. I try not to do that too often, even though I know full well I'm about to do it one more time. Alright, just trust me. This is one of the last times we're doing this. But I am in the mood to do this, so I'm just going to do it right now. There we go. Perfect. It will save us a lot of time than trying to just make it symmetrical. Now, it is definitely good to practice drawing symmetry, but I know in my heart that if I'm willing to give the time to it, I can draw things symmetrically. Right now, though, when the coffee's wearing off, when the day is getting long, when Dehya is taking a long time to finish, I'm not in the mood to sit there and grind out symmetry. So save a little bit of time, especially when I am working on my mangas. Holy schmoly. And especially when I'm like working on my mangas and stuff. Every now and then you just gotta you know, read the writing on the wall and be like, you know, I could save myself like 20 minutes if I just, for some of these easy symmetry problems, I just solve by copying, pasting, and flipping around, you know. Shave this back because it's getting goofy is an understatement. There we go. There we go. What am I looking at? Again, checking the references. Okay, so this is a separate piece, interestingly enough. So it just kind of comes in like that. This. I'm gonna rotate this just a little bit. There we go. I'm gonna actually rotate this entire thing just so it lines up a little bit better, so it's a little more symmetrical. There we go. Do this. Fill this in a little bit. Then we've got to make this little slot. So I'm just gonna do that. Okay, except it's like horrible. Minutely better. I think if I rotate it, it'll fix everything. It pretty much did. Unless somebody whips out the magnifying glass and is just staring at it. It's like, ooh! I found something goofy looking. Unless they do that, I think it'll pass. Let's see. I don't know, I've got multiple references popped up, and every time I just look at the wrong two and then settle on the third, which is where the belt is. So just constantly sitting there like, where is this thing? We'll do this, followed by this shape. Ugh. So horrible. Still not great. Oh, well, you know, rotating it kinda saved it. Kinda. Shave it down a little bit, and maybe now it's saved. Pretty much. There we go. The beauty of rotation saves me a lot of heartache. Do this. Yeah, I think it's coming together here. Now you got like these, like more of these slots though. Do I want to? I don't even know why I'm asking if I want to. Yes, I want to copy and paste to save time. So I will. There we go. Perfect. And then I can just copy all of these to the same layer because all of this has to go. So none of the parts that matter are touching each other. Like so. And then I'm just gonna say screw it and do it again. And I know that since I didn't copy and paste this other line, it's not gonna line up like perfectly. But I can make it at least close. So that'll be fine. No big deal. Well, I think that is fine. So yeah, we'll keep chugging along then. Okay, so following this line like that, it's much better than the original shape anyways. Just kind of connecting my belt. That way it's not just a floating buckle. Do this. Okay, now we've got a little belt loops. Let me just draw a little circle. I mean, for no guide, that's not bad. It's not great. It's like circle-esque, but I think it gets the job done. Okay, so we've got like these little gold plate things. Okay, and then I just proceed to draw the dumbest line of the day. New title. Let's see here. I think I'm just going to... Oh yeah, I totally forgot. This whole time I've been rotated way over, so I'm like, why is this hard for me to like conceptualize? And it's because I'm just nowhere near the angle I need to be to help me create this shape. There we go. It's kind of like shallow on the outside. Like it's almost like a flattened shape over here. But I kind of want to add just a little bump because it looks kind of nicer to me. It kind of breaks up what would be just kind of a, you know, like a boring line. So I'm going to do that. Even though it's not exactly what she's designed to look like. But I like it. It is a fun little change. And I'm gonna copy again. Sue me. I'm just gonna do it. Right like that. There we go. Okay, then I will copy down here. And then connect the belt line through these. Here come... Oh, for a second there I thought I did it perfectly. I was about to say, like, here comes the fun part. I'm trying to line up 5 different things, and then I thought I did it, but then I missed that. I was grossly off the mark. And wow, even rotating is giving me issues. Here we go. Oh wow, but look at this. Look at this right here. Belt. Belt. As you can see, they're not connected. So, that was all for nothing. Well, the issue is that these are too low, because my construction lines were just off. So we're gonna have to... I'm just gonna move these, to be honest. I'm gonna move them out of the way. And then connecting from here. Boom. Look at that. So much better, even though it's kinda... I don't like how it's kind of merging itself with the belt buckle, but I think for the sake of not getting in the weeds to fix that, I think I'm just gonna go with it. You know what I could do? I could thicken it. Oh my gosh, okay. I could thicken this. There we go. That's a little bit better. But I mean, hopefully this type of video is still interesting for people. It's just a lot of me just kind of talking through what I'm up to and problem solving some of this, but I don't know, it can kind of show you the process of drawing these things. So especially if you're like a beginner, you can kind of see like a walkthrough of, you know, problem solving on the fly, having to go off of the construction lines every now and then, you know, making little changes when necessary. Okay, that was incredibly sad what just took place. Okay, there we go. Forgot we had something to line it up with above us. Do this. Close enough. Gets the job done. It's my favorite phrase. Okay, do this. And I'm just gonna kind of push it into here, and then carefully, one of the most important lines is on the chopping block right now, so we gotta be careful over here. Okay, there we go. because messing up that line means redoing it in its entirety, and that is not a fun line to have to troubleshoot again. So we're going to ignore it. We're going to make sure that nothing ruins it. Okay, do this. Does this have any of the rings on it? It doesn't. It just has, like, belts. It's like belt on belt action right now. It's just kind of crazy. So I think I just gotta do this. Connect it. And then I gotta get rid of this, because it's disgusting. And then I gotta repeat that up here. So I don't know, we're gonna figure this out. There's like this little triangle thing, and then this has some markings in it. So do this, like so. Gets the job done. Let's do this. Alright. That is fine. Yeah, there's just like little silver bits, but then in the actual game there's not. Huh. I've got two different references showing me two different things, so that's not really helpful. So we're just going to combine the two. Just say, you know what, it adds more detail. More things for people to look at. So we'll do it. There we go. Pretty good. Those will be like little silver pieces. Okay. From there, we can just draw our little fold here. Just kind of where the, you know, midsection is, where the hips and sides are kind of meeting and having a little fold there to show that. So do that. Okay, quick, get these out of the way. I actually really like that line though, so save myself some trouble of trying to mimic it, because this is like it's like an exact same line here. So it's got like a gold rim, so I liked the lines I ended up with, and I want to make sure I have a consistent and even spacing between the two. So with this angle here, just copying it gets the job done, and it looks nice. So that's what we're gonna do. Then I can implement some fun line weight to kind of further break up this fire shape, and just do it in one go. Looks good to me, so I'm just gonna keep it. Do that. So like, yeah, like on a line like that, I mean, there's some little areas where I got real thin, you know, real thin there. I got a little bit thicker here, you know, so it's just kind of messing around with it. I mean, for me personally, I think this looks fine. I like the way it looks, so I'm just gonna keep it. But if it looked off to you, or it looked a little bit messy, or is it too wobbly or something, then, you know, just redo it, work on it. But I like having some areas in a line like this where the line weight kind of shifts and changes, because it breaks up what, because like, yes, it's like a kind of a wiggly line, so it's not like just a boring flat line, but it gives the line more character. And to me, at least personally, with my style of drawing, I really like trying to add even some character to some of my lines that might otherwise just, you know, accomplish their purpose, albeit in a boring way. So trying to just find ways to make the lines more interesting. It's like, yeah, the majority of people are not going to look at that and be like, oh my gosh, like, great job on that line right there. You really paid attention to it. You really tried to make it shine. They're not ever gonna say that. They're not ever gonna see that. But, you know, it's like, to me, it elevates it, and it's like something unseen means it wasn't so bad that they noticed it. You know, it's like, usually if people are pointing something out, it's because they're like, maybe you should give up. So we'll ignore those people, but we'll try to try to add some character where we can, even if it goes unnoticed. So we'll add this. And then this line, just because of the shape, I already knew that it was not going to be a line worth trying to copy and paste and move around and stuff. So unfortunately, we just had to freehand it, and honestly, it's fine. So really nothing to worry about. Except now I'm coughing again. Okay, do this. Boom. Our little folds. Now the tricky part. Okay, what happened there? Oh yeah, that was a line that I was like shaving away at a while ago. So I guess zooming in enough just let me see how atrocious it ended up. Okay, here's the fun part. Drawing a pattern with line weight while taking clothing folds into account. Bear with me, because this is about to just be annoying. See, that's how I call myself. I knew I was about to say atrocious again, which is kind of a weird word to say back to back, so I call it myself. Incorporate our line weight. It's not bad. Okay, sorry, I did not mean to like have that come out as a moan. I was just trying to get like a and I guess the heart did what it needed to do, but that was crazy. I'm sorry. Let me rectify that by making the most beautiful line you've ever seen in your entire life. Just like this. Look at this. I can't say it's the most beautiful line you've ever seen, but, you know, we're just going to move on. We're going to ignore everything that just transpired, or just went down, and we're just going to keep moving. But anyways, now I'm just checking over. I got the line. I mean, this part here is sad, quite frankly, so we're just going to redo it. It's pretty good. Pretty nice. We'll call it good there. You could definitely get stuck in the weeds on that, but, I mean, I got it to where it's getting a match of the folds. You know, it's kind of bumping and ridging over it with the folds, so it should, in the finished piece, look normal. But it's important in things like that, you need to kind of take into account these folds, because if you have these folds here, but then you're just doing, like, your line over it like that, obviously it's like, okay, well, you've got a material that's all bunched up and moving around, and then your pattern doesn't express that, so it just comes off flat. It looks atrocious. There's that word again. But anyway, you know, moving on. Alright. Moving on. Oh my gosh. This cough is just stupid. I hate it. Okay. Enough complaining, though. We've got to finish this. Okay. Add this shape, this shape, this shape. Actually turned out pretty good for just kind of getting through it. Do this. Just thicken these a little bit at the points of contact, because I like doing that. Same thing right here. Make sure it breaks up that line. Then we gotta add these. Okay, I thought I was doing all right for a second, and then I did that. Like, I'm looking at the reference, and truth be told, I don't know how those are connected. They're just there. So, honestly, I think I'm going to add, like, a little bead or something. Because it's, like, I'm going to add, like, a ring. Because as far as I can tell, they're just actually hanging out. So, we're going to add this. That way, it kind of looks like they're actually connected to something. I'm sure they are. They're just small enough in my reference that I can't see it. So we're going to just add this because it at least solves that sort of logic problem. Might not be exactly what it's supposed to look like on Dehya, but it might be exactly what we need to keep people from being confused. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. Yeah, I refuse to split the line art into 3 parts, but I'm also considering it because we're at minute 50. Man, like this thing is gonna be like a movie when it's done. This is quite the undertaking here. So we might just finish the foot and just make another part dedicated line art because I still got the entirety of the legs and the eyes. I think that's what we have to do, to be honest. It sucks, but I think we have to because again, I'm trying to. I don't want to make so many parts that people are just like, yeah, I've been done watching this for a week. Why are you still releasing parts of it? Like, there's no reason for me to see all this, but at the same time, I kind of feel like asking someone to watch a 4-hour video is the big ask, and it's just not gonna happen. So I am going to rotate this a bit because as it kind of goes away from us, it's going to taper off into the shoe here. So I can copy that shape to get the exact shape I want, but then I can twist it so it gets bigger as it comes near us. Do that. Get rid of this. That's kind of goofy. That thing curled up like that at the end. But that is why you go through your endpoint and not stop right at it. Because you could get the perfect little line you want, and then it curves like that, and you're just like, okay. Thanks. Up into a point. Okay, I was about to just go for it on my same little line layer, but I've learned my lesson. I'm gonna exercise a little patience. I feel like I can make this shape better, you know? Yeah, it's fine. So I gotta remember too, it's like this isn't like her whole foot. There's another one of these on the other side, and then all of this on the other side, so I've just gotta add that. And it looks like in the design that this just kinda comes up to this. It looks like this bottom part here is on top of these, so should be fine to do that. Everything looks fine. Do this. Bring this up behind it. And connect this. There we go. Get this little curvy bit. There we go. Okay. Well, I thought it would be... I guess, you know what? I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest. I don't know why. I was thoroughly convinced. I was like, yeah, I could get the line art done in one, video. I knew full well it was going to take me a couple hours to do it. So, I don't know. I guess worst case scenario, if people are complaining about them being in multiple parts, I can just merge them, but at the same time, it's like they're going to end up in a... You're gonna end up in the same like playlist anyways, so it's at least not gonna, if you are just trying to grind through them for some reason, it's at least not gonna really mess with the flow of the videos. But I don't know, just trying to figure it out here. I don't want it to be so long that no one watches it, but I also don't want it in so many parts that people just are like, I've seen enough of the line art, I don't need to see another one. But oh well. Won't know until I upload it, so we'll figure it out. But for now, probably just wrap up the foot here and start part 3 of the line art. Kind of crazy. Because I originally thought that my idea fan art little walkthrough thing was going to be like 5 parts total, but now we're almost at that part limit and we're just not even done with the line art, so kind of crazy. Is what it is. It's coming together though. It's doing its thing. So I know I've said it twice, but I'm going to say it a third time, and this time it's true. We're going to finish this in the next part. So if you stayed along for the ride for both parts 1 and 2, well, I guess this is part 3. So if you've been here this whole time, then thank you. But we're going to finish this in the next one, and then we will do the base colors. So I hope to see you there. Hopefully this has been interesting or, entertaining to some extent. Always found this helpful. See you in the next one.